Kurando Mitsutake's film Lion Girl is out now on Blu-ray, DVD, and on video on demand. And finally get a chance to talk to him about the film and some of his past work. So, Kurando,
Hey, good to see
hey,
you.
you too. It's been a long time coming, I guess, kinda.
Yes, and as you can see, I'm still surrounded by the moving box and LA, Tokyo, international move, is just consuming my time.
Oh, I bet. So you're moving from
Yeah.
LA to Tokyo?
Yes,
Oh,
for
wow.
a while. But I moved my home base to Tokyo at the end of last year. So
Oh, okay.
I'm still in the process of, settling down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your patience.
Oh, no problem. I've been looking forward to this.
Cool. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you great. Perfect.
Okay, great.
So, I've been actually been a fan of your films for a long time,
Oh,
but
thank you. Appreciate that.
one keeps eluding me. The
Uh-huh.
monsters don't get to cry. Can
Uh-huh.
you tell me a little bit about that movie, or has it ever been released on physical media?
Yeah, it was my first feature. I kind of consider it as a honorable failure. It still has a, special place in my heart because it's my first picture, but
Yeah.
um, you know, it was the concept was, this was based on the unpublished stage play. So it's a confined space, you know, uh, movie, kind of a high drama with the father of one of the victim of a fictional high school shooting. Does his revenge. He kidnaps the perpetrator, high school shooter, and he kind of gives him the you know uh, torture lesson of
Mm.
value of life and stuff like that. And so essentially it was kind of a special effects filled gore fest with the high human drama.
Yeah.
And it had the it has great performance from my great actors, lead actors, but people who's a fan of gory special effects makeup are not interested in high drama, high human drama. And people who are interested in high human drama are not into gory special effects. So we couldn't find an audience for it. But it was released in Japan on DVD. But unfortunately, anywhere else, I think we got the German distribution for it too. But
Mhm.
unfortunately, it didn't make it to North America.
Huh. Well, I'm gonna have to seek it out, man. Like I had to seek out. Well, I seeked out the Karate Kill, the German special edition. So
Nice,
maybe
thank
I'll
you.
have to do a little deep dive in and see if I can find that one.
Yeah, here and there, I see either an illegal copy or the screener copy that we distributed at AFM,
Mm.
popping out here and there on what's that auction site?
eBay?
The eBay, yeah, eBay or other one. Yeah, so if you seek them out, I think the screeners are floating around somewhere.
All right, yeah, 'cause that's got to complete the collection.
Thank you.
All right, so can you tell me a little bit about yourself and what led you into, got you interested in film?
Sure. I I was born in 73, and I was so I essentially, when I was growing up, like 13, 14, we hit the home video, rental video bubble era, and
Oh yeah.
I was growing up in Japan, Tokyo, and literally like every city corner turned into a mom and pop video store, and
Yeah.
so basically all my spending money went to renting videos. And so I encounter wonderful, Hollywood, lower budget Hollywood movies like, Hitcher or Near Dark, all those
Yeah.
amazing movies,
Yeah.
and just, instantly became a huge fan of B movies, essentially, um, and ever since I saw Spielberg's Duel
Oh,
on TV, when I was younger, like I think I was fourth grade or something. I fell in love with movies, and yeah. So I mean, just the video bubble of the '80s, early '80s, kind of reinforced my interest of the movies, genre movies, essentially, and um, I wanted to study film, and back then, uh, my father was a very understanding guy. He was, only he said, okay, sure, you can study films, but the only condition he gave me was, I need to go to college. Like
mm,
I can't like drop out of high school and just join the industry and stuff.
yeah.
So, I did the research back then. Only like two universities in Japan offered film studies. Now, there are many
Mhm.
schools that offers film studies and stuff, but back then there was only two universities, and they weren't that attractive to me. So I was like, then I researched a lot of American colleges offering film classes, and so my love of cinema really came from you know uh American genre movies. So I was like, hey, why not I go over there and study, and I had the opportunity to be a exchange student in high school days, and I
Oh,
took
awesome.
the advantage of that, and then I came to United States. I got the student visa, and then I just kind of stuck around, and did the college, did the undergrad and the graduate school, and then I stayed.
Nice. So who are some of your like biggest influences at that age? Film wise.
You know, I mean, I watched all kinds of stuff. Like I said, it was early '80s, so it was the horror genre
Yeah.
was really heavy.
Oh yeah.
And literally, like, Japanese were so hungry for content, they distributed everything from everywhere,
Mm,
so I had the healthy dose of, Italian, obscure Italian horror movies.
nice.
Argento definitely became one of my
Mm.
favorite. Fulci. Um, then I was watching all the American movies as well. So, all the Stallone movies came over. All the Schwarzenegger movie came over. So, I'm a product of the '80s genre movie.
Well, hey, I'm right there with you because we're about the same age. So
Right.
I grew up the same way, going to walk. Yeah, I used to walk to video stores. My parents would set me up with the memberships, and I could
Sure,
just walk
sure.
there and rent what I wanted, and that's how I'd spend my weekends.
Yeah, no, exactly the same thing. I think we're doing the same thing in the different parts of the world.
Yeah.
I mean, I love They Live. I love Masters of the Universe. I love all your posters there.
Oh,
So
yeah,
yeah,
the classics.
yes.
And so you know, Lion Girl was kind of a project that came together after another one collapsed. Is that what I remember hearing?
Yeah, it's yes, I was in this kind of a 3-year development hell with this one Japanese studio. And basically, it was going to be 100% financed by these people, and this is actually, this film studio was a subsidiary of a huge Japanese boy band music company, and they wanted to make a movie with
Mhm.
them, and that they loved Karate Kill. So they hired me to develop this action movie, and it sounded all great when it started. It was 100% financed by them. They'll supply the stars, and it was going to be released in Japan nationwide. It was a pretty big deal, and but it course of 3 years, he kind of shriveled down. Then first then they offered like, all right, we can no longer 100% finance this movie, so I want you to find a partner who can cough up the 50% of the budget. And so I went to Toei Video. There was my longtime friend, producer there. So, I said, okay, can you come in as a partner to finance the 50% of this action movie? And the boy band was fortunately huge, so they agreed to come in. And so essentially, my producer friend witnessed this terrible, treatment I received from these music movie people. And so at the end of the day, when the project fell through, they felt really bad for me, and they were like, okay, well, let's do something. And why don't you do a movie for Toei Video? And so that's how Lion Girl got started. It wasn't easy. You know, just like American studios, nowadays, they'll never green light, um, original spec script. I
Yeah.
was pitching all the original ideas, and they didn't want to go for it, and I was really frustrated. So, at the one of the meeting, I said, okay, so, I guess for a studio to green light a movie, I need to have, uh, I need to make anything like based on a popular Japanese comic book artist, like, so then I mentioned Go Nagai's name, and because, he's been my creative hero for all my life. And they were actually like, wow, the Toei studio is actually very in great relationship with Mr. Nagai's company. And so I was like, what? I just threw that name out of thin air. And but yeah, but so that's how the ball of
Yeah.
Lion Girl got rolling.
Well, what did it mean for you to be able to work with Go Nagai? Because I know he was a huge influence on you. You
Yes,
know,
yes,
Beauty Honey right there.
yes,
So I'm a
yes. I
fan as
mean,
well.
yeah, I mean, I grew up reading all his comic books, and literally, like, he is one of my biggest, creative heroes. And it was just amazing. You know, uh, so I actually pitched the Cutie Honey. My first pitch to Mr. Nagai and his company was Cutie Honey USA.
Oh, wow.
The comic book, uh, original comic book version of Cutie Honey is
Mm,
pretty bloody and erotic.
yeah. Yeah.
Every time she transforms into different power, different character, essentially she gets naked, and then she becomes something else.
Mm,
And all the villains she faced were very vicious. They were like really uh, violent people. And so the action sequences are very bloody and stuff like that.
mm,
And so my pitch was to use all the American actors and actually do close to what the real version, the comic book version of the Cutie Honey was. And
mm,
Mr. Nagai actually really dug the concept and my pitch. But at the time in Japan right now, it's kind of a trend to make the theater version of popular comic book or the animation, and they kind of turn it into a little bit of a musical and stuff. So it's like the theater version of all those comic books and animation are more geared more towards female audience, you know, so
Mm,
it's like
okay.
they really kind of tone it down, you know, like the no violence, and it's
Okay.
the, you know, the fight choreography is more like a dance, you know. So you know, at the time the Cutie Honey theater version was in production, and so Mr. Nagai was like, hey, I really love your pitch, but we can't actually greenlight the bloody version of Cutie Honey right now. So as a counter, I thought that was the end of it. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, too bad I can't collaborate with my hero, but his counter offer was actually amazing. And he actually designed all new character called Lion Girl for us, and sent it to us. So that was amazing. You know, like because he hasn't created any new character for a while, and Toei, you know, video studio was like up in arms, like, oh my God. And, you know, like Mr. Nagai just kind of, you know, gave us the new character, the all new character, you know. So then, yeah, I got the green light, and just we had to do it.
How much, because I know he contributed some story ideas. How much did he actually contribute to what you ended up building off of?
Well, basically, what we received from him in the beginning was the character design, and a little bit of a character setup, you know, like
Mm,
Hero Botan, the heroine of the movie, of who she is, how she turns into a superhero. She had, you know, she has to, uh, you know, she has to go into this special heating capsule to get heated, and you know, make the power um come out, and her partner is Ken Shishikura, and they're both in the Yakuza family, blah blah blah. So it was just that, and there was no story ideas from him. So I made the story um around these two main characters. So you know, I created the villain, the world, and the
mm,
problem, and the monster, and stuff like that. And so then I developed a film story, and I wrote the synopsis and sent it to him, and he would interject some ideas onto it. So we did the healthy amount of catchball here, and you know, uh, between he and I, and you know, when he approved the movie version story, I moved on to writing the script. So it was really wonderful collaboration, um you know, making the movie version story. But it was, I mean, it was really amazing that how much freedom he gave me to create
yeah.
the movie. So yeah.
So you were actually able to put together a pretty amazing cast,
Thank
and
you.
Tori was an absolute powerhouse. Can
Yes,
you talk a little bit about assembling everybody together?
sure. Yeah, you know, it was I mean, it was really one of the most difficult time to put together a movie, you know. Uh you know, the corona was
Yeah,
happening, and you know, back then when we started the production, pre-production of Lion Girl, um still, you know, SAG came up with the uh you know, guideline to conduct a film shoot. So
yeah,
film production could happen, but it was very you know, you have to follow the steps, and then that actually added so much money to the budget and stuff like that. But um, so at that time, not the 100% of acting workforce was back in action. You know, like some people were still uh holding back, you know, not acting
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
So it was kind of a difficult time to do the casting, and I thought we will be flooded with you know submission, but it was rather slow, and so we had to wait. But at the end, we got more than like 500, 600 submission for Lion Girl part, and um, yeah, it was a little suspenseful that we weren't sure how many people were going to audition, so we had to stick around a little longer than we
Yeah.
anticipated. But at the end, we got the healthy amount of submission, and the Tori actually came in auditioning for Mayumi's character,
Oh, okay.
and but she was a powerhouse. She was really um amazing screen presence. And so I actually asked her and her manager uh, if she's willing to audition for Lion Girl. And she definitely
Mhm.
was game. So she we did the second audition, her as Lion Girl, and she got the part.
Awesome. And I also really enjoyed Derek Mears. I mean, he's a guy
Oh,
that's so you're used to seeing him behind a mask or in all kinds of special effects and makeup. This was a time to actually really get to let loose and show off his acting skills without, his face being covered.
yes. Derek's wonderful. I mean, it everybody says, like everybody says, oh, he's the nicest guy in the business, or like every director with every actor, they actually describe them as the nicest person in the business or nicest person in Hollywood. But for Derek Mears' case, he is literally the nicest guy
Mhm.
in the business, and I'm not lying. It's not a lip service. I mean, he literally is the nicest guy, period. And yeah, we became friends attending different fan conventions.
Oh,
We were together in Germany um for fan convention. Then right before Corona, uh he and I attended this fan convention in Massachusetts, called Rock and Shock.
oh,
Unfortunately, this convention it is no longer around. I
yeah.
really hope somebody will bring it back. But so one year, Derek and I were attending that together, and we were on the same flight, and we became good friends. We went out to dinner. He and his wife Jenny, both of them were there. Jenny actually plays Ginchio, the Derek's
Oh,
sidekick
okay, yeah,
character.
yeah.
Yeah. So but we became really good friends, and Derek wanted to, Derek told me, like, when you do something next, just let me know. And uh you know so I actually he wanted to read my Lion Girl script when I was done with it. And I mean, knowing he's the like one of the biggest villain character actor in Hollywood, we can't afford him. I knew that in
Mhm.
going in, but so I just wanted to get his feedback on the script. So I sent him the script, and he read it. He came back saying, "Hey, I want to play the bad guy." So I was like, "Well, thank you. I'm very flattered, but I don't think we can afford it." I mean, I know we can't afford your fee, Hollywood big budget fee. And so he actually um, convinced his agents that he'll just take the SAG scale, and he really wants to do this project. And
No, it's awesome.
so yeah, I mean, it's really like he wanted to help me as a friend
Mhm.
to bring this movie to different level,
Yeah.
one or two
Okay.
or three notches up, and he just did that. And yeah, and I think, as you mentioned, I think one of the attraction for him to this script was the fact that majority of the movie he's actually not wearing the mask. You know,
Yeah.
he's actually he can actually flex his real acting muscle, and he's a wonderful actor. You know,
Oh
he's
yeah.
very, you know, he I mean, the our villain Kaisei Kishi was, you know, thanks to Derek. I mean, it's a very three-dimensional character. He's, I mean, he's a horrible monster of a person, but he has his background, and you know, like, a very complex character, and I love everything what he did.
Well, that was actually something I liked. Well, I loved about the film was that it's kind of over the top and crazy at times, but you also take the time to develop character, to develop the story, and you get a lot. You learn a lot about this world that they're living in, and then you get the payoff.
Right. Yeah, it was. I mean, you know, it's hard. It's really hard to make essentially the first episode of a superhero movie, you know,
Yeah,
because you have to explain a lot of things, the world and the bad guys, good guys, superpower, what's going on, blah blah blah. So yeah, it would, I mean, I'm a firm believer of the best running time for any movies is 100 minute, you know. So you know, like, because we had to explain a lot of stuff, Lion Girl became my longest film to the day, you know, 121 minutes, and I just could not cut it anymore because you know, I wanted to make this, you know, wild world somewhat believable, you know, somewhat buyable. And in order to do that, I had to explain a lot of things. And so we needed that much running time. But yeah, I think, and, you know, of course, you know, the movie was uh, kind of my personal feeling towards, you know, Corona is
yeah,
in there, you know, I mean, Anorak is Corona spelled backwards, you know,
yeah,
so it's essentially my very personal Corona movie, you know, because I wrote it, um, you know, when we were in the lockdown, and also we were suffering Trump America, so
yeah.
you know, so all those things are mixed in the script, and so yeah, it's Lion Girl is not just kind of an empty-minded
Oh,
genre movie. It actually has a lot of my personal feelings, and yeah, it's very close to my heart. Yeah.
and do you think comparing it to, let's say, like a Japanese audience to an American audience, did you see like a difference as to how it was accepted at all, or
Mm. Well, I you know I because because we were essentially banned from the film festival around the world, I really couldn't experience the first-hand reaction with the American or the European audience,
Mhm.
unfortunately. Uh, I thought all the genre film festivals gonna, you know, like really love this movie, you know,
Yeah.
and but unfortunately, with today's you know, cancel culture, politically overly conscious, you know, politically correct environment, climate, you know, it just Go Nagai's world of, you know, nudity and violence filled world wasn't accepted, and yeah, so unfortunately, um I couldn't experience the movie with you know, overseas audience, but you know, in Japan we had the nationwide nationwide release in
Yeah.
theaters, and um you know, I attended different cities opening days and stuff
Mhm.
like that, and I got to experience Japanese audiences reaction, and of course Go Nagai is a household name here, so
Yeah.
they exactly knew what I was trying to do, and I got the really great reception. So that was wonderful.
Yeah, it seemed like, from 'cause I kind I've been following the film and its release in Japan, and it seems like people are really, really enjoying it. And, from some of the, the adaptations of the guy's work that I've seen,
Yeah.
yours feels the most, true to his style and work. So that was awesome to see.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah, I mean, when I started this project, basically my main concept, my main concept as a director to accomplish this movie was this is going to be a love letter to Mr. Nagai, and
Mhm.
that was my concept, and he loved it, and his fans loved it. Exactly the reason you mentioned, that they felt like this is the very first time that the live action movie did justice to his
Mhm.
work, and I was very honored.
Like in the movie, there's like a really big mixture of like practical effects and computer effects, and had an excellent exploding head scene in the finale.
Thank you.
It's reminded me of Scanners. It's one of
Yes.
those, spot on
Uh,
ones. Can you talk
yeah.
a little bit about, melding in between, using practical and computer?
Sure. You know, like uh my other movies, like Gunwoman, Karate Kill, that was kind of like my homage to 70s genre movies.
Mhm.
And for Lion Girl, I wanted to do homage to 80s genre movies. So I wanted to do a lot of prosthetic, physical, practical special effects makeup. I mean, nowadays it's really difficult because essentially it's more expensive and more time consuming to do
Yeah.
the practical effects on set. If it's CG, like, you can do the multiple takes, and you can fix a lot in the post, but practical
Yeah.
effects, you have to nail it right on the spot, and that could take a lot. And but I was able to convince my producers to do as much practical effects as possible, and we made it happen. But uh, it was then, for the CG effects. I asked my CG artist to make it more like 80s optical effects, not the computer graphic, like a slick, today's CG.
Yeah. Yeah.
I purposefully asked them to do kind of a, botched up, optical effects look. And that I think, my CG artist, Kazuno-san, he's wonderful, wonderful guy. But I think he did just that, and he
Oh
he
yeah.
exactly understood what I was going for, and that they actually had the ball doing it. And
Mm.
yeah, so I think that was the mixture of how I did the special effects in the movie. It's like, I did the practical as much as I can, and for the stuff that 80s filmmaker would use the optical effects, that's where the CG effects came in.
Yeah, I feel like some audiences or some, even like critics, some reviews ever, I think they miss the point a lot on what you were trying to do. And when I seen it, I immediately knew what was going on, and I was,
Right.
all excited. But I guess,
Yeah,
a lot of
it's
people miss
yeah,
that.
yeah, it's I don't know. Unfortunately, this movie Lion Girl was misunderstood. Like, uh, yeah, they missed what I was going for, and also, of course, this um the overly politically correct, you know uh climate, um, you know, really misrepresented the movie. It's like
Mm.
nowadays it's like, you know, I guess in order for you to do something super wild, uh, you have to be already established big name director, or you have to be either sexual minority, or like you have to have that kind of uh defense in the beginning, in order for you to do something wild. And it is rather unfortunate that this uh, you know council culture climate is becoming so predatory.
Yeah, oh yeah. But it could also be, the movie will find its audience. It's gonna. I think in the review I had written about it. I just like it's gonna be like the next cult film sensation. Might take a little time, but it's gonna get there.
Yeah,
I
I
truly
I,
believe
I
that.
hope so. Thank you. I hope so too, because it's you know, um, if you really look at the movie, it's about love.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
about it's about how to survive the shitty world. And so I think the movie is filled with the positive message,
yeah,
and
definitely.
in the crazy facade. I think it has the genuine message, and I really hope a lot of people get to experience that.
Yeah, I mean, the movie's got me hooked on that the Ian Ring song "Pale Blue." I listen to it all the time. I absolutely
Thank you.
love the music in the film.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I had the wonderful collaboration with five different musicians. I essentially I wanted to go with kind of a Rocky Four type of
Yeah,
sensibility for this movie, because that's another movie that represents the 80s. And
yeah,
to me, Rocky Four is a musical. It's got the wonderful 80s pop song.
yeah.
Essentially, the music tells a lot of the story in
Yeah,
that
you're right.
movie.
You're right.
Yeah, and I wanted to do that sensibility, and so I knew the 2 hours of running time. Majority of the part will be filled with the music, and um, so I knew it'll be really difficult for one composer to compose the entire movie. So I kind of went with the Michael Mann sensibility, like to work with different musicians
Mhm.
for the soundtrack. And I was really fortunate to work with super talented five musicians, to do, for them to do the score for the movie. And one of the musician who contributed to the movie. Um, this was when I was writing the script, and his day job, if you would, is in the medical supply industry. And he felt really horrible about how a lot of essential workers back then
Mhm.
didn't have enough supply to protect themselves.
Yeah,
So um, he talked to all his musician friends and made the compilation album of different musicians, different songs. And basically all the proceed went to donation for the essential workers. And
nice.
so yeah, it was a really nice cause. So I bought the album, and in it, yeah, it actually had the Eon Rings Pale Blue. And when I heard it, I was like, this is like cheesy, like unreleased David Bowie track. It's this is amazing. And I fell in love with it instantly. And I was like, I have to have this song for Lion Girl. And I talked to Jim, who did the compilation album, and he introduced me to Eon Rings, and yeah, then we were able to have it for the movie, and I love it. I really needed to have super great cheesy 80s flavor music for this movie, and I think it was perfect match.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you.
So, now that, it's kind of the Lion Girl train is kind of slowing down for right now, do you have any other projects in the works?
Yeah, I'm I mean I really hope I can get to do another studio movie. That's one of the reason why I moved to Tokyo is that
Mhm.
my sixth feature, Lion Girl, was my first Japanese feature
Yeah.
and studio feature, and so I kind of want to continue the tradition. Like I mean, it's I mean, indie stuff is great. I have more freedom to do different things, but budget tend to be lower.
Yeah.
So it's a trade-off. But I would like to grow as a filmmaker. So I would love to do bigger budget stuff, and if I can work with more studios, that's great. So yeah, that's one of the things that I'm trying to accomplish, and then my other big project that I'm working on is actually I have few film project that's collaborating with Mr. Eric Red.
Oh, wow.
He's yeah,
Awesome.
we became really good friends over the years, and he actually contacted me after watching My Gunwoman, and he said this is the best low budget movie in the last decade, and um, yeah, he really loved the movie, and we became good friends, and you know, we do occasional coffee, dinner, stuff like that here and there, and so he actually he and I partnered up on several projects, and we're finding the financing for it. So hopefully,
Awesome.
like my next picture will be me collaborating with my next creative hero, Eric Red.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's a genius screenplay writer. I mean,
Absolutely.
yeah, it's the best written script I've ever read. And we were hoping to raise money for those.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Hope it works out because that's something I definitely would like to see.
Yeah, yeah. So that's in works, and then I'm developing a few other film pitches for different studios here in Japan with the different collaborators. So hopefully, it's almost like a filmmaking uh you know process is kind of like you're a bounty hunter. It's like you have to you have to go after all different criminals, and you don't know which one you can catch. So it's like my things out there, and trying to find producer or the money, and
Yeah.
hopefully I can get the green light on something this year.
That'd be great.
No,
And, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me finally. And I know
no,
you've been so busy.
no, I really enjoyed your questions. Thank you so much for and thank you so much for actually watching my stuff, and liking my stuff, and
Yes.
it's wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I really enjoy it. And like every chance I get, I try to, push or recommend your films. So, I was at an event this weekend. I had my Lion Girl shirt on and I
Nice.
kept getting questions, what's Lion Girl? What's Lion Girl?
Right.
So I
That's
was able
beautiful.
to, push that out and I got people writing it down, putting it in their phones and So, hopefully, I can help get a few more viewers in there somehow. And
Perfect. Thank you so much.
anytime I know you have something to promote or whatever, please feel free to reach out. Love to talk again sometime.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds good. Yeah, just just let me know when you want to interview me again. I'm always a game to do fun interviews, and yeah, and if I can make it over to East Coast someday, we'll meet up for a beer or so
Oh,
sometime.
absolutely.
Yeah,
All right. Well, again, thanks a lot, and hopefully we'll talk soon.
definitely. Thank you so much, Corey, and you take care. All right. Thank
Yep,
you so
you
much.
too. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.